This is a bullish breaker, so we had a low high, lower low, then they push up to the high. You can see right here during the Asian session we got a retracement back into the breaker and then pushed up. From there I knew we were bullish. It was game over for shorts. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis, and first and foremost, I hope you like the new branding. I hope you like the new logo and the new banner on the YouTube channel. If it looks different, or just let me know what your thoughts about it are down in the description. If you know what the concepts are as well, you're a G, let me know down in the description. But like I always say, I am just a simple day trader who is documenting their trading journey. We're going to talk about everything that ended up happening this week. This is the series where I kind of just review all the trades that I took in a week and then talk about all the things that I did well, what I could do better, what I messed up on, what I didn't see. It is kind of a back testing session with you, so take everything that you can from it, because I don't really do this with too many people unless they are in my paid mentorship. And shout out my student, he actually passed 2 more funded accounts and he's been with me for about 4 months now, so big ups to him, my boy Herbo. I am happy and proud of you. You did an amazing job and you've been going crazy, so continue the success, my boy. And if you want to be taught by me on one-on-one, it is down in the description inside of my Discord. We'll go over it once we head into the Discord section, but please make sure you follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_. Follow me on TikTok at LewisVisuals. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, because we are just getting started and we are on a roll. We had an amazing week this week. I went undefeated all week, follow all my rules. It was crazy and it was amazing. So we're going to talk about everything that happened from Monday to Thursday, and then Friday I demo traded. So I only traded on my accounts from Monday to Thursday. Friday I said I had a very good week, there's no need to put money on the table, so I just demo traded it. Apart from that, let me know how your week went down in the comments. Let me know how your trading journey is going. And yeah, let's not make this intro way too long. Let's head into the sponsor of this video and the Discord, and then we'll go from there. All right, here we are in the sponsor of this video. If you don't know already, it is Tektronix.com, the best place to find the best quality parts in the market. If you're looking to build a PC, go ahead and check them out. The link is down in the description, and use my discount code as you see right here, LVFlip, for 10% off. They have free shipping on all products and they have a 1-year warranty, so take advantage of that, because a lot of companies don't actually do the 1-year warranty. Let's check out my favorite setup. If I just hit shop now, it'll bring me straight to it. Here we are. This is my favorite setup. I actually have this exact case on my setup and I love it. I needed a lot of space for my GPU because I have a big GPU, and everything was just so compact on my other case because it was so small that it was overheating, and this allows a lot of airflow, so I couldn't be happier with it. As you can see, you could pay with Zip in installments with only paying $17.50 with 4 payments of that, obviously. And if you use my discount code, you can see as well here that it will come down from $1,270 to $1,147. That's actually a very good discount. I would take advantage of that, honestly. That is an amazing discount. I didn't think it was that big. But yeah, if you check out all of the other stuff, such as the Nova Strike collection, you'll see all of the stuff that they're adding in here. This is recently just got updated. If you want to contact them, you hit contact them, subscribe to their emails down at the bottom. If you want to add or subtract anything from any setup, you can easily just, like I said, check out the specs on every single setup and then just contact them, let them know. If you want to specify on exactly what you want in your PC, you already know what to do. Follow them on Instagram. But that is everything that I have to say. Let's head into the Discord. Now, here we are in my Discord. We've been very active this past week. I love the interactions that we're having. Everybody's posting their trades. Everybody's been talking. Like I said, my student passed his 2. He passed 2 of them on the same day of the funded accounts. So if you want to access my premium Discord and or get my one-on-one mentorship, just hit join premium down here and all the information is in there. As you can see, we have a bunch of testimonials in here if you want to see that as well. Yeah, all the testimonials that you need are inside of the testimonials. But like I said, this week everybody was talking, and that's the type of community that I want to have. Today we kind of got a little bit more personal. We asked a bunch of questions. You could read it in here. We have been growing. I actually have started to add stuff into the crypto section as well, as you can see here with these 2 tabs, and I'm going to continue adding to it. And then we have the real estate section, which I was informed today is going to be updated very soon as well. So interested in joining the premium Discord, join the Discord and then just head down there. All that I ask is that if you are going to join, just be active and come in with a good vibe, because I think we only had 1 person come in since I started the Discord trolling, so I just kicked them out. Apart from that, it's been very good and I enjoy everybody who's in here. Yeah, that's basically everything on the Discord. Link is down in the description. Now let's talk about the YouTube channel really quickly, because I want to thank you for reaching 1,300 subscribers here on YouTube. I just hit 1,700 followers on Instagram as well, and that wouldn't be possible without God and without you. So thank you so much for that. The amount of support is crazy, and it's telling me that I'm doing a good thing. As I said, I just had updated my logo on my YouTube because it was just a picture of me before, but this is a lot more professional in a way. Let me know what you think about it down in the description, and I'm working on another one, so let's see how that comes out. Apart from that, thank you so much for the support on this. Truly, follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_ for all my live executions, because I've been posting my videos on there on a daily basis. Now that's basically all that I wanted to say on that. We were about to hit 40,000 views in the last 30 days here on YouTube. Extremely grateful, extremely thankful. Now let's hop into the video and let's talk about this crazy week. Here we are. This is what the week ended up looking like. We ended up having a Monday low of week all the way up to a Friday high, and everybody's talking about how we were gonna end up being in a recession and this and that. I think we're back, honestly, and I could say that with about 90% confidence. Since Monday, I've been basically for all of my trades, and I ended up going 4 for 4 on every day, not really having a losing day at all this week. And then, like I said, Friday I decided just to take a break and paper trade it, and it was actually a good decision because Friday morning session, I think it was the first hour or the first 30 minutes was just straight up chop, but most of the day was after that ended up being very choppy. Either way, I ended up having a winning trade on Friday, but having to live through that and to sit through it, it's just not the type of trades I like to take. I like it to be, you know, either the market tells me I'm wrong or I'm right away, but either way, that's not really what matters. You know, having the patience to wait out your trade. Yeah, we ended up having a very interesting week, and I knew the draw on liquidity was higher as soon as Monday happened coming into Tuesday. So if you want to know exactly why I was buying and all that I teach in my one-on-one mentorship, I was letting my students know actually in the premium chat what I was seeing, and they've been doing an amazing job, especially the one that ended up passing the 2 accounts and last week. I've already told them the next step is to get that payout, so God willing, that is what ends up happening. But let's get straight into the week. Let's not make this video extremely long, and let's talk about what ended up happening on Monday. It was a very interesting day. So now, like I said, my strategy, I am not trading before 10 a.m. and as you can see, the move started basically at 9:30. As soon as the market opened, it manipulated quickly and then just dumped, and then from there it just ended up dumping for the rest of the day. Now, why was my trade down here? And as you can see right here, it was a 7R basically. It was a very nice trade, very nice short, but I did end up taking it late. Now, the entry that I should have taken was up here, but it's okay. I think sometimes it's better to, you know, enter late and be right on your confluences than to enter early and not really notice it. At this point, I hadn't really noticed the SMT that we ended up having right here, and I'll show you on ES really quickly. Here we are. As you can see, both 10 o'clock opens are right there, and ES did not make a higher high coming into this fair value gap, and Q did. So that was what told me we were bearish. So I just ended up waiting. Because I wanted to see if he would manipulate a little bit more, and we ended up just dropping after that. But like I said, Monday I was bullish overall, meaning in the bigger picture I was bullish. Does that mean that Monday is going to be bullish? No. Monday I was anticipating for the previous low of last week to get taken out, which is this low from last Wednesday, and then they ended up taking this low from Thursday as well. Since I knew that the draw for the day, meaning the short-term draw, was lower, I ended up taking shorts, and it ended up playing out perfectly. Right before I take you to the lower time frame, you can see as well, we were just very bearish. Anytime we got above a high, we would reject, and then when we got to the lows, we would push through them. So that is bearish structure, and then we'll talk about what happened the next day that confirmed bullish structure once we get to it. But let's talk about the entry itself. Now, I was anticipating, obviously you saw right there was a 15-minute fair value gap. I was anticipating them to try to come up above the 10 o'clock open so that I could play the power of 3, tap into that fair value gap, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and then dumping from there. But as you saw, they had already SMT'd, so there was no point of them coming all the way up there because they already done what they had to. I guess the institutions had already, how do I put it, shown their hands or shown their cards. But I ended up just paying attention to what price was doing primarily after that ended up happening, and the shorts, the better shorts, were obviously up there once they SMT'd, and probably right here with this 1 minute fair value gap. But I ended up waiting, and then I saw that they came up, they respected this up close candle, then they inversed this 1 minute fair value gap and started to dump. When they came up one last time, I entered, and this was the entry that I got. I had my stop right above this at first, so my trade was like that, but then I ended up moving it lower to what you saw it as once they started to move lower, and I realized that I was on the right side. Once you're on the right side, you kind of know, the market itself tells you. But it was fairly simple to realize I was on the right side once we started to reject the up close candles and push through the lows. It's very simple at that point. Like I said, the thing that is still a little bit not too clear is the time frames, because sometimes you look at the 1 minute time frame and you focus on it so much, and by you I mean me, it makes you miss out on the bigger picture. Even though I have on the right side, for example, I have 2 screens. On this side I keep the 1 minute time frame because that's where I execute, but on this side I have the 4-hour time frame. I don't know if I'm gonna need to pay attention to, like, for example, my intermediate time frame, like the 15-minute more, or just get a different screen and have the 15-minute there as well, which probably will end up being the better option. But I need to pay attention to all 3. The idea is gonna come from the 4-hour, the execution from the 1 minute, but I need the 15-minute to make sure that I'm not getting fooled by the 1 minute, because sometimes you pay attention too much to the 1 minute and you don't see what's happening on the 15, and the 15 is a very important time frame. But that is the short that I took. Like I said, the confluences was that I'm bullish overall, so they're gonna open and dump. That's exactly what I was anticipating, and it ended up working out. And I wasn't expecting them to go bullish until I saw what I saw when I came to the market on Tuesday. Now here on Tuesday, if you pay attention, there's a breaker, and there's a very obvious breaker, as you can see right here. This is a bullish breaker. So we had a low high, lower low, then they push up to the high. You can see right here during the Asian session on Monday, we got a retracement back into the breaker and then pushed up. From there, I knew we were bullish. It was game over for shorts. No point in taking shorts unless you were catching short-term shorts, like for this short here, or even the short on when was it, Wednesday, after Wednesday session, coming back into the 4-hour breaker. But I'll explain it because it's very simple. We came back here, and as you can see now, we are, pay attention to the order flow. Now from here, every time we come up to up close candles, we reject them and push lower, right? Up close, then we have some sell side imbalances right here, some fair value gaps that are bearish. Every time we come up to the bearish fair value gaps, we tap them, reject, and push lower. As soon as this high gets taken out and then this retracement comes down, the up close candle of the breaker is holding price. And then every other time that we come into a bullish PDRA, such as this fair value gap or a down close candle, we end up pushing higher. So as you can see, the change of state in delivery was really here. We went from a sell program now back to the buy program. So it is a very simple way of understanding order flow, but that's why I started to look for longs after Monday. Let's talk about the trade that I took here on Tuesday, because my model is working. And like I said, this is the trade right here. It looks weird on the 15-minute because I took it on the 1 minute, but as you can see, I took the later entry because, like I said, sometimes it's better to be a little late and have that confirmation than to just get in at the very bottom of that 10 o'clock candle. That was only on Tuesday. I think I got the very bottom of every other candle for the rest of the week. But let's talk about here on Tuesday, because I wanted to see this high, and they got up to it, but they ended up dumping as soon as they got up to it. So I wanted to make sure I got out right before they got up to the high, because I hate when they get close to a level and then just dump and scare people, or come back down to break even and then push up. So this was the trade that I took. I believe I took it on the 5-minute as well, because right here we are. This is the entry that I got. It was an order block entry when we came back into this order block, and there's a fair value gap as well. But the real entry would have been any one of these 2 lows right here when we came back to this down close candle, which was an order block as well, because we had an SMT below the 10 o'clock open. So that was the best entry. Like I said, I ended up missing out on that entry and just waiting for a little bit more confirmation. Once I got the confirmation that we were definitely gonna head higher, I just ended up waiting, right? A lot of people entered here and ended up getting cooked by this one candle, but the patience is what pays. So I just waited until they came down into at least this fair value gap or had some type of retracement before really getting in. So I waited. This candle came into the order block. As soon as it tapped it, I entered, had my stop originally below this low. Once they started to move higher, I moved my stop up to here, because if they come below this low one last time, at least I'll either get a minimal loss, hit a break even where I can enter the trade again, because I know the higher time frame is heading higher. And then I was targeting this high, but I got out before it because I didn't want to be in the market too long. I like my trades to be short, get in, get out, make my money, and then go focus on something else. There's no point of being in the charts 24/7. The most I'll do is trade and then come back at night and either review my trade, journal, or just get ready for the next day. But in terms of throughout the day, I just like to get in and out, not really pay too much attention to the charts after that. Like after I took this trade, I turned my charts off and didn't even see any of the stuff that was happening later on. But it is what it is. That is the trade that I took here on Tuesday. And same confluences. I already knew we were bullish already from what happened here on Tuesday, Monday actual Asian session with this breaker. But after that, we just waited and seen what was going to end up happening. Now let's move on here to Wednesday. Now Wednesday, I ended up taking a long, and I had deleted the buy side level I was aiming for, but I believe it was this Tuesday level here, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said in the beginning of my video, all of these executions are on my Instagram for all of the accurate information in terms of what it actually looked like during the actual trade. Deleted the buy side level, but the buy side level was basically what I was targeting at this point here. But it was pretty much a very easy trade here on Wednesday. it was a data low to data high type of trade. I just waited, literally just waited. So at 10 o'clock, I saw that we printed this big candle and then we were just trading within it. So I wanted to see what was gonna end up being the side that got hit first, the sell side or the buy side of it. Obviously, I'm still bullish, so I wanted the sell side to get hit, tap into this order block, and then push price higher. We SMT down here at the low from the 15-minute. I took this on the 1 minute, by the way, and I'll show you on the 1 minute exactly what it looked like. This is the trade. So as you can see, this big candle ended up printing, and this enticed a lot of people to enter long, thinking they were gonna miss out. And then what did they do? Just dump all the way down to the lows. I thought they were gonna tap into this order block. They ended up SMTing with a lower low on NQ. I'll show you the SMT here on ES really quickly. There we go. As you can see, we made a higher high here on ES while making a lower low on NQ. So that was the catalyst to be like, okay, let me give it a try. I enter long there, had my stop originally below here. Once they started to move higher, I moved my stop to where you see it there, and I was targeting this high. Actually, I think the high that I'm talking about, there is another high there, but I just got out here because I saw that most likely we would end up dumping into what seemed to be a 4-hour breaker right here, and I'll show you what it is from here. As you can see, I thought that we had this big gap in here, so we would most likely dump into the gap and tap this breaker. So as you can see, low, high, lower low, higher high, come back into the breaker and send price higher. So once we did that in the overnight session, once we came into New York, it was pretty simple that we were gonna end up having buy opportunities. And the one thing that I hate about following your rules is the fact that sometimes you end up missing longs like this. I saw this and I was watching this, and I took this on demo because obviously I'm not gonna break my rules in terms of keeping the accumulation of data just on this model, the 10 o'clock model, after 10 o'clock, seeing what happens. But it was a very good long that I ended up missing just because I couldn't trade before the 10 o'clock open. But if you see right here on this candle, for example, here on the 15-minute on Thursday, you can see that there was a very nice SMT right here. You see this candle made a lower low on ES and did not get low and make a lower low on NQ, making a higher low, meaning SMT, meaning big move is coming. So I just had to sit there and wait, be very patient, and ended up paying off. But I took the same long on paper just because I couldn't break my rules and not trade the model after 10 o'clock. But this is the trade that I ended up taking. It was a 1 to 4.5 or 4.1, excuse me, but this is the trade that I took. And I think I did take an early loss. Okay, I remember what ended up happening. I took an entry here, and then I had my stop below this low because there was an SMT below between these two lows on NQ and ES. I'll show you the SMT. If you see, this low right here was taken out by ES, and NQ did not take it out, making a higher high. This is the SMT low. SMT. So what I did was I took a long entry here, somewhere around here, once we tapped this order block, and then I placed my stop below here. As you can see, it got very close to taking that out, but it didn't. So I closed it, and I was like, oh shit, why the fuck did I close it? Because it ended up holding, as you can see. So then I just re-entered another long and had my stop below here. Once we inversed a, I believe, was it a 5-minute gap that's there? And then as you can see, it ended up playing out perfectly because we were bullish. All you have to really do is get the right side, get in on the right side, and then have a good entry in time, not price, and it just ends up playing out perfectly. Straight to the TP, had no problem. Had this live on my Instagram for the executions as well, but it was fairly simple. After I saw that we hit the 4-hour breaker in the overnight session, I knew we were gonna be bullish for the rest of the week after that. Now let's move on to the last day, which is Friday. And like I said, Friday I demo traded, but it was also a winning trade because why? I know where the draw on liquidity is, so I was just waiting to see what price was gonna end up doing. And as you can see, this was a very annoying trade, very annoying day with a very annoying trade. But coming into the open, as you can see here, I'll show you, there was an SMT. As you can see right here, we have a big SMT right there at that low, which gave me the indication that we were gonna go higher. That's why I took the long, and then it was just a matter of waiting until I got a good entry. And as you can see, 10 o'clock open, and they just shot straight up, shot straight to the top, and I was like, I don't know, let me just keep waiting, maybe I'll get a better opportunity. And then they just dumped straight down, and then that's when they SMT'd, and I saw the SMT. I was like, okay, now it's the time to go. They end up pumping once again, and I was like, let me still be patient because I wanted to see if they would either, I wanted to get in here, but I didn't get in there, and then they just kept going higher. Once they pumped up and came down one last time, I marked out this breaker and entered on the breaker. Once they tapped the breaker, my stop was originally below the breaker down here, but once they started to move up, I was like, I'm gonna move my stop right below the entry, and then I'm gonna let it run. And it was a lot of chop, but it ended up hitting. This was crazy. You have to see it on my Instagram. The full execution is at LewisVisuals_ on Instagram. You'll see just how long I had to sit here. I entered this trade at 10:57 and it ended up hitting at 12:23. So it was just straight chop for about an hour and some change. It's crazy to trade on Friday someday, but it was a good move because you could see it just kept going that day. But I was just like, I'm gonna wait till they get to this buy side liquidity right here and then just call it a day. But they also had a lot of generated liquidity here from the day prior, and I needed to really understand. I thought for sure that we could have had a TGIF trade because we had taken out the previous week high, which kind of was my target, but then I realized there's a higher target above that, and this move lower in London should have already gave me everything I needed to see. This was all the liquidity that they needed to then send it higher. So after I saw this, I was like, okay, now they're definitely long still, and I took the long and it ended up hitting. But that is really about it. It was a really good week. We're gonna keep on getting better, and we'll keep the momentum going in next week. But that's basically everything that I have to say. Thank you so much for the amount of support that I've been getting everywhere. Wouldn't be here without you and without God, so I have to be grateful. Please follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_. Use my discount code LVFlip at Tektronix.com if you are looking to build a PC. Follow all my socials. Everything that you need is down in the description, and join the Discord. That is also down in the description. Apart from that, that's all that I have to say, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.